Anyways, at this point, how do we kind of slow down Zexora? Do we want something that is punishable, right? Hayabusa is punishable, Lancelot is punishable, especially when the real test is how often can you execute well in these team fights. So they go for the safe option, right? Yuzong alongside with the Hylos. I'm not 100% sure on this Hylos just yet, but let's see what the next two picks from CFU are going to be.
I'm always okay with having a Hylos around if there's a Claude. I mean, yes, it's very one-dimensional to just look at the Claude and say, hey, let's pick up the Hylos for the easy stun. But you have seen it before this M7 that it has stopped or at least diminished Claudes a little bit. It's not a 100% Claude. It just makes it a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah,
that's just what you think all the way.
It just means that you can't like BMI right on top of somebody and then hold your flicker hoping that they would respond to it, right? And now CFU are going back into a really comfortable style of play. Right now, I'm expecting to see Buck CCC, who again, in his own region, 100% win rate when he gets his hands on that show. Lapu, another great way to kind of set up, knowing that Kenny might be the main focal point for the side of Z1.
So it's either do they pick up the hero for K here in Red 3 already, because the likes of the carry is still there. They just want to make sure that we'll get the usual Claude carry mashup. But if we're done with that, I don't mind. I don't mind seeing something else.
I think, personally, I think they need to go Lunox or something that has iframes to work with. It feels like it's very much CFU wants to make sure that Farsa is just a non-option for them.
Yeah.
So, is it the mid or is it the gold?
Oh, wait.
They still want to play the Farsa into the Claude, into the Cho, into the Lapu.
Yep.
Brave is an understatement.
Very brave. And I think that, again, Coach Summer has a really good idea of what the draft needs to look like. All right, we're sacrificing the mid lane, but we're immediately going to take out the utility junglers, right? I'm guessing the Fredrin's also going to be part of that second ban phase, but from CFU's side, do you just target gold laners? Get rid of the carries, get rid of the Grangers? Is there anything else that's relatively good here?
There's a Harris. Although the Cho Lapu.
No matter what, the marksman has to take the Purify, right? And they can't go double fighters because Ishuchin's out.
We might end up seeing a gold laner here that maybe won't even pick up the Purify. It's going to be tough, but there are very few teams who are willing to pick up a Flicker on their gold laner because they're thinking a little bit more about the repositioning. Right now, you don't even see the jungler for zone. And with YSS Leomord getting taken out, there's not a lot of room anymore for zone to go for a fighter in the gold and play a carry. Not a carry, but like their main carry option in the jungle. There's just not enough. There's no picks anymore that you can put in that slot.
Because even the Hayabusa might feel a bit pressured in this kind of lineup.
Yeah, with the Joy getting picked up, I think someone just might have shown CFE that they're thinking about Granger.
They could, or they're giving the... Well, we'll see, right? Because I still think that they can pick up Fredrin for themselves, and then they can leave the question over to CFU to see what their full composition is. Oh, they go Hayabusa. They don't mind. Okay, so they go Hayabusa. If CFU decide to get Fredrin, they decide to go carry. If it's anything else, probably Granger, right?
They don't mind using the Farsa into this, nor the Hayabusa into this.
I mean, the carry is already banned, so I guess they're kind of backed into a corner. I mean, Bruno, I suppose, but even that doesn't feel like great.
Yeah, and there's just so much dive from CFU that if you even go something a little bit more static, like an Isha, and you go pure backline, that's really going to be hard to pull off. Especially if CFU decides to pack in a tanky fighter jungler here. Fredrin's still open for them. They can definitely go down that route. If they want to go Fredrin, Kimmy also, they're lacking the range, but they have so much dive that they won't need the range.
Possible Sora?
Sora already banned out. Oh, they do go Fredrin, but they go for the Zetian, who has been climbing up the ranks a little bit more. And it is the Harris that they decide to go for. They don't go for physical. I mean, with the high, they already have the Hayabusa Yuzong. They just decided to go for more magic burst here. I'm leaning a little bit more towards CFU here, but the zone does have a window. It's just very difficult to get through it.
Yeah, if it's just sheer damage and aggression, then on paper, Team Zone's lineup looks really good. But we really have to consider the amount of disruption, or even just the Lapu and everyone else diving in or into these backline heroes that Team Zone picked up.
Yeah, I think a lot of this early game is going to be dependent on the supports alongside with the EXP laners, right? Everybody else is going to be supplemented by how these two lanes are going to move. But as we start getting into the game, we're going to be answering all of those questions as the Land of Dawn opens up for these two teams for our very first best of 3 to kick off today.
And we have 3 overall for this day of Swiss. All of them eliminations. As we all know, it's so important to win game 1 in a best of 3 because that instantly puts you at match point. CFU or Zone again, type it out in the comments section who you think is going to win this. And as always, let's look at the mid prio. Who'll be able to clear much easier and who will be able to keep their health on a better state.
See, doesn't mind giving away priority in the lane itself, knowing potentially could be dangerous, and also speeding up Fredrin's initial clear. As you can see, it's always going to be a little bit slower than the Hayabusa overall, but that's going to be totally fine, right? We go into our first tech pause. Luckily, we did it in the first less than a minute, so no momentum built. It's all a good time.
Yeah, it's just so far the Zetian once again sort of really handling the lane pretty well. The range is just a bit too crazy. I know it's been adjusted a bit. And more than damage, I think if you're just capable of poking out the opponents in the middle lane early on, then that just grants you a really good advantage.
I think that's also one of the requirements if you want to make sure that Zetian's good with her mid-prio.
Yeah.
Or to even add more to that, just have Joe with you. Or any roam that has a concussive blast. They clear out the middle so fast that there's not a lot of room for you as a mid laner to trade. They're just going to clear, and then you're going to have to, alright, I guess we're going to clear, but then that means we're behind in terms of the rotations. Or they're not even going to rotate early on. Zetian's just going to keep throwing her skills at you, and then you'll be brought low, then forced to go back. It's not like the perfect 100% Zetian and Cho is always going to win, but it's not the easiest matchup to go up against it.
Yeah, and it's a great way to just stop all those early quick rotations you could get from a Farsa. Oh, what?
Look at how close that is. 3 votes difference. 3 votes difference, and you could be that part of those 3, chat, so please get on it right now.
Can I type both? Can I type both and add one to both?
This is why it's important to vote. See, look, it's so close. See, it's 2 more people voted and it's still 3 apart. Who didn't vote?
I personally think it's one of the other teams who are like, sympathy. And then they voted for the other one and they realized, wait a minute, this doesn't change anything.
So
it's
you
still
can
that neutral.
vote for both.
It could be. Who knows? But with that being said, I do want to talk about the technicalities, about the, especially with the mid lane dynamic, right? I don't know whether or not people prefer the high loss over the Cho in these types of situations. At the end of the day, they both kind of do roughly the same thing, with Cho having better clear in the first 3 minutes of the game. After that, it sort of evens out later on, depending on what the build usually is. But I think the main concern right now is if Cho or Boxy is able to get a trade out freely against the Farsa, that could slow down. For an example, if you see them shunpoing towards you, there's a pretty good chance you're going to hit wings by wings, and that's going to slow you down from taking the normal path of the river and having to go through the jungle.
Yeah, I feel like if the combinations of the heroes were just a little bit more different, we could have seen Team Zone pick up the Cho for themselves. But now that they had the Yu Zong as one of their first 2 picks alongside the Hylos, I feel like they were just thinking also that, hey, if we have the Cho and the Yu Zong, that's 2 dudes initiating, we have no one to peel for the backline. At least for one, if having either the Hylos or the Yu Zong, you can delegate. Either one's gonna stay and one dive, vice versa.
Oh. Wait.
Based on the game state right now, I think they're playing it really, really well, both OP and as well as Boxy.
Oh, now that's the flicker forced out of OP. Not much he could do there. I get it. They were playing it really aggressive because they were winning out majority of the lane, but that's the Hayabusa you're talking about.
Yeah. And that's cool. That wasn't even a level 4 guy. That was just level 3. He just showed up with a shadow and immediately got OP.
And that's exactly what you want to do, right? And I think from OP's POV, it's like, I don't mind taking the first initial stun. He just wasn't expecting Zora to gank him pre-level 4. So again, a bit of creativity, but more importantly, it's about execution. It's these smaller moments that you need to take to start building advantages. This is why I think the meta is so heavy on the playmaking, because it's moments like this that's going to allow Team Zone to fight for the turtle.
Yeah, now everything's just on Team Zone side. The control, the rivers no longer dominated by CFU, so we will be definitely seeing something here in this turtle fight. But Bankai, though, forced under his turret. Now there goes the Landshaker, stunning 2 people from Team Zone. Will they go for the counter engage? They are quite low, so Team Zone might have to reset for a bit.
They still have their ultimates. They can get back in there. They need Bankai to first start the jump and maybe target OP down, who just hit level 4.
What, are they not going to reset this? That's the Black Dragon form already committed by Bankai. He's looking for a target. They're trying to go for Detective. Fury of the Phoenix already committed, but they're going after Kenny in the back lines. Kenny goes down. Detective takes the turtle. And despite everything that was committed, it seems like everything's going a bit too well for CFU as Bankai goes down next.
They lost the shape of the fight, and now they lose their purple buff for that as well. Wadu, with his second bravest fighter, has already dominated this side of the map, and this is what I was concerned about. The EXP laners now starting to fall behind from the side of Team Zone allows CFU to create more opportunities to force plays.
Yeah, unfortunate for Zone. I think that's just all experienced by CFU. They read the situation perfectly. They know that their gold laner will be able to join. That is the nature of the Claude now. First turtle, he can just come in the fight because of how fast he can get through the map. And Team Zone, I feel like they should have just called back. They needed that purple buff for their Hayabusa. And going up against a Fredrin, a Lapu, yes, we already saw the Landshaker, the bravest fighter, committal, and you have the Yuzong, but it's way too tough to make that fight work. It's so demanding of your team to get that turtle.
I guess they were just really banking on the Black Dragon form.
Yeah.
But even then, all other resources of CFU were available too. It's just the bravest fighter that they saw being used. There was still the Fury of the Phoenix and Way of the Dragon onto Zixora, but there might be no follow-up. Detective and OP couldn't dish out the right amount of damage, but still one will as well. Bright is still alive. K2 looking for a target in the mid lane, but they will not find any.
Can we get a replay of that? Oh my god, Foxy! What a sick Joe play. You blink, you miss it. How quick was that Way of the Dragon to guarantee that Zixora was not able to get his ult?
Yeah, on point. Zixora was already charging up the animation, but then Boxy was able to kick him back. And now CFU has a DHS for their Claude, which in 2026 January MLBB means power spike already. Just one item, man. Nerf him!
If the Dragon, bravest fighter, all committed on the Bankai. Landshaker doesn't connect though, so he's still able to use the Black Dragon form. But the sustain you see from this Yuzong keeps him alive. But without that, Team Zone might not be able to contest this objective.
Yep, they have no Petrify to do it. And Zixora's maybe thinking of getting in on this. Bit of an awkward quad shadow there. I don't know what he was aiming at.
If it was older Hayabusa, that definitely would have been closer. But I'm pretty sure at this point he's definitely very familiar already with the quad shadow length. I guess he was just reaching for the stars at that moment. It felt like
he was hoping that somebody would just walk up into it, you know?
Yeah.
But you see Boxy right beside you, and I don't think you could stay for any longer.
He's already kind of made a name for himself at this point. There's a lot of respect going over to Boxy from the side of Team Zone. You can see that they get a little bit nervous when they notice his presence around the map, and I think that's something that's good, right? However, what are they going to use that leverage for? And I think at this point, now that there are no buffs left on the map to actually fight for, you can see that Boxy is proactively looking to either kick Bright or even Kenny.
Fury of the Phoenix cancels out the feathered airstrike. But Zixora still finds Boxy. Will OP get to find a trade? It seems like the damage and the range will not be enough. But then K arrives, and with the Salmon Force, will try to take down OP. But Wadu will provide some help. Bright 2 joining in with the Glorious Pathway, but now they see 3 members in front of them. Sing is just stealing the auto attack, so will the Appraiser's Wrap connect.
Bankai.
The knock-up from Bankai using the Black Dragon form as well. But Sing is still able to deal all the damage that he wants.
Oh my goodness, it's a game of cat and mouse and Sing luckily preemptively flickering, knowing that Zixora is paying attention to the BMI. These are the moves that you want to see from our professionals.
Lots of focus at the center of the map. Seems like Team Zone, though, I feel like they could be a bit more active, or excuse me, proactive. But Zixora just has so much gravity towards it. Oh, the game!
Speaking of Zixora.
He can't be using Quad Shadow anymore. Zixora must hold his Quad Shadow for as long as possible.
I didn't expect Boxy would be committing the flicker and the full combo, but at the end, that just completely snuffs out any rotation the Team Zone wants to have or any presence that they want to have in this map. 3 turtles will be going to CFU. K has been able to farm up well and is now the one of the few ways that Team Zone can make a comeback through this. Feather of Heaven up for that Harith. See if you can just keep this up with their aggression. Now they look to help Sing.
Yeah, but I have to say that they've been really aggressive so far too. I don't think there's been any instance where the flickers have been down or have been not used at all whenever there was a team fight. It's always Boxy, Sing, and OP aggressively making use of the resources that they have, and it's so Team Zone. You could understand how defensive they're starting to play everything, even with the Hayabusa in their lineup, even with this Hylos in their lineup.
Look at Detective. I really love the way that he builds on this Frederick. You should be looking for as many components as possible because the raw stats, look at him. He's level 10 and he's just beating him up. What are you going to do about it?
I like it when I see Frederick like this. It's really just, yeah, I definitely can frontline. Even though I will be taking damage, it's fine. Like, at the end of the day, I'm going to end up hurting someone, and I do have the health, as long as the other members of the team are there. So good call by Detective.
Oh, Purify forced out. Okay. And that's it. They didn't commit the Way of the Dragon or anything.
That's exactly what they want, because now they can set up a dive angle, and you can tell, okay, he's like, nah, he's not about it. He does not want to show on the map anymore, knowing that Boxy could come on him at any time. I think they're also keeping track of the battle spell, so 10 seconds left until Funker.
Oh, Wado's all alone here. Fury of the Phoenix, though. Someone helps him there. Uses the flicker to reposition out. He's against 5 right now, but it seems like he'll be okay.
Yeah. Queen Swings, second item for Wadu. That's crazy. Usually you go Oracle, but no, he just straight up goes for the Queen Swings. And at this point, he will be very difficult to take down. So now you have both the Fredrin and the Lapu Lapu as heroes who can just front, soak up damage, deal a lot of damage, and survive at the end of the day.
The two main damage dealers that they're most concerned about is Kenny and Kay. Now that Zixora does have the Sky Piercer, maybe he's a little bit of a threat, but only if you are low. Prior to that, it's not doing as much damage as you would like to. Oh god.
Once again, Bankai in the bottom lane.
What? Just auto him.
It's okay. It's okay. He's alive. He's alive. That was a Black Dragon form, though, and we have a Lord.
They're gonna get the T2 off of this, and with this Lord as well, the snowball is not going to stop.
Okay, Boxy seems like he's a target. But they're just able to run away. They forced out the Glorious Pathway even. Now that's another resource down for Team Zone before the fight even breaks out.
Man, Boxy already used his Way of the Dragon, and he's still posturing as if he still has it. And now, Obri's fight again!
Wait, Wadu! Oh! Still gets to finish off right! Now it's Bankai that they're trying to go after. Without the Black Dragon form, they're just gonna chase after him. But Detective says no. The call is different. They're gonna transition towards the Lord.
Queen Swings Rush, way too good for CFU Gaming, and they have gotten all major objectives so far in this game, including the very first Lord. Wadu's still going. He knows that there's no one in Team Zone that can take him down this early. Yes!
Oh, Bankai, you gotta be careful!
Bang!
And there's nowhere to run! Now the Landshaker connecting once again for members of Team Zone on Wadu, but he will force them out of the turret, and that'll result into another casualty. Bright goes down as well.
Goodness. I told you, the EXP lanes are going to make a big difference in this game, and Wadu now developing a three-level lead against Bankai. Bankai has lost his relevance. Even if he wants to get on top of OP, you can tell he still has his passive to knock him away, and even with the Petrify, it gets big early.
Wow! The energy eruption into the Fury of the Phoenix! And with the Holy Shields, they're able to keep themselves safe out of the turret.
Detective, OP, Boxy, that was a sick combo. Whoever made that call, it could have been Detective who says, hey, I'm going to be able to get this taunt off, get that Fury of the Phoenix down. There's a kick.
Way of the Dragon onto the tankiest member, and they don't care. Now it's Bankai next, and no front lines left for Team Zone.
And whoa!
And the blazing duet into the crowd. Okay, fortunately still alive after that, but it could have been much worse.
Dear God, the Cambodian play style with the snowball, they're so confident.
Oh, Zixora still able to get something out of that.
Sing overheated a little bit there, though. He should not have given up that kill. Seems like the rest of CFU wanted to back off, while Sing wanted a little bit more. But thank you, Sing, for building a winter crown. We've been asking for this for all M7.
Yep. It's just expected at this point. We expect you to build that winter crown. We expect you to make these big plays of their own. However, Looking at the state of the game, yes, it's a 4.5k lead, but it's not like Team Zone's completely out of it, right? They still managed to hold their inhibitor turrets. In terms of the raw items, Kenny's almost there. Zixora, yes, he's able to find 4 kills, but now, oh god, Boxy.
Okay, if you're in the Phoenix, that'll help Boxy. Wadu Land Shaker onto, but the Fettered Airstrike, there's nothing to cancel it right now, but Wadu doesn't care. He still goes after Kenny, and he's able to finish the kill. Now the Black Dragon form forced out of Bankai as well, but he doesn't get to find anyone. Detective trying to go in. There's another flicker from Obi, and now they still want to go for the fight. The Blazing Twin once again dealing enough damage onto the members of Team Zone. Bright trying to run away, and so is everyone else, but Wadu stands in front of him and says you cannot go anywhere.
And that's the experience we're looking for. If Team Zone were to make the same play, I don't think it would have been as synchronized. See if you saw this from a mile away. Great awareness.
Okay, they get to dodge the bravest fighter. Couldn't touch the damage. Fettered Airstrike, they have to run away now. My goodness, K couldn't even last 2 or 3 seconds in his Zaman Force.
No, he could not. One of the few things Zetian is able to cover almost the entire, like 2/3 of the Zaman Force with just their first ability, so he will get shredded away ever so slowly.
And we knew this Harris pick would have difficulties. We thought they'd opt for range. We thought they wouldn't pick up the Harris, but they decided to lean in on it, and because they could not get the early game that they were looking for, especially since Bankai lost the lane against Wadu, Team Zone has just completely gotten out of their hands. They are playing solely through hoping that CFU Gaming will be able to make a mistake. With the itemization of Wadu up to the Oracle already, only up to the Holy Crystal, yes, but at this point you want a Divine Glaive on K. Now 4 items will be enough to make CFU Gaming wins, but if it's enough to win it is a different question. They're so tanky at this point.
They kind of are, right? I mean, they're stat checking. That's the whole point. And now that they're past the 42k mark, this is their last opportunity to try and go for an endgame scenario. Afterwards, it's just going to even out, and maybe Team Zone might pull through, all assuming that they don't lose this crystal off of the Lord push.
Yeah, because they're sticking up the waves really, really well. And it'll be a tall order for them to do that. With all these heroes, we initially did not expect them to bring out. It's not just the Harriet, it's also the Farsas that we did not expect to see from them. But now they'll have to say goodbye to their first base turret. And there's another wave coming up in mid.
Gotta guide that Lord down, right? Take advantage of it.
Okay, there's the BMI already. Boxy still not looking for a kick. Oh, I take it back. He actually finds one of the most important members at that. Zixora is down for this defense. And there goes another bravest fighter in the Appraiser's Wrath combo. Saying going in 2. But he gets taken down by the turret shot. And now CFU lose their marksman.
We still have one more siege minion though, but CFU Gaming will back off as the Zone successfully defends.
They get to live. They get to live. There is nothing wrong with living and sacrificing all of your inhibitor turrets. The only problem is that now coming up for the next Lord in 66 seconds, they're going to be at a major disadvantage. It's not up to them anymore whether they are able to win this game or find that comeback. Let's look at the replay one more time at the very least, right? Because this defense really boils down to what is the most important thing. And yes, Boxy is still making these insane plays. I would argue that he's going to be the MVP by the end of it. But at the very least, Bankai finds a little bit of value while K is able to get in and out of these fights. This is how the shape of the fight needs to look like. Kenny is your anchor, and so is K. They cannot be using their abilities at the same time unless they can guarantee a kill on Sing.
Sing though really needs his time in Sentry is just a little bit better. I know he was sending back the members of Team Zone, specifically Kenny, but he should not have eaten all those turret shots in the hopes that he'd be able to take someone down because they need him to lock in. OP also having the Winter Crown there was very clutch. Definitely Bankai could have just straight up blasted him, but he was able to Winter Crown away the passive of the Yuzhong. And the combo, the full combo too.
I guess Singh didn't really notice that the turret shot was on him too.
Yeah, the man was so locked in with getting that kill. He really wanted that.
He wanted it, but now how do they even contest for this Lord, right? It's an almost guaranteed non-contestion for CFU's. Team Zone just locked in their base, unable to do much about it, right? If one of them get picked off at 60 minutes into the game, it's roughly like a 30 to 40 second, depending on who dies, respawn timer, which is pretty much game over at this point, knowing that the Lord is going to spawn in about roughly 10 seconds.
CFU Gaming can definitely finish it off here unless errors again, a little bit of jitters or over eagerness to end it, leading to members of CFU Gaming, especially Sing or OP, maybe even Wadu, falling down unnecessarily early. Zone, still, same condition. Wait for CFU and hope they make a mistake.
Wadu, who's 714, by the way. Wants this Lapu-Lapu. And now Boxy once again, but he gets stunned by Bright. But nonetheless, look at the damage from the Blazing 2 and the Winter Crown! Sing is able to do so much, and now without any hesitation, gets to lock on the towers. Game 1 finally goes over to CFU.
That was a beautiful adaptation right at the very end. They had already made sure that they have conditioned their opponents. Who comes in first? It's always Boxy. And if you don't stop him, guess what? You open up angles for everybody else to start trickling in.
Blazing Winter, very good. That's my analysis.
Yep. You use your stun as the high loss, and now everyone gets to go in whenever they want.
And he even juggled that. He ended the game with Immortality. He juggled this Winter Crown Immortality just in case he got taken down. That was a great angle, great read by Sing, and now of course, Zone really have to go back to the drawing board here because I feel like that draft could have gone on differently. The last two picks feel like they just settled into, okay, what's comfortable for us? What is the best pick for us personally, but not for the big picture?
I feel like their big picture was too narrow, actually. Their first opening picks weren't too bad. The high loss did not necessarily need to come out there. And I think they could have waited for maybe even like third pick to see, oh, you picked the Cho first, and then maybe you look for a different opportunity later down the line. But at the end of it all, right, I wouldn't say that it's Bright's fault. I think a lot of it just boils down to where the rotation needed to go on the map. They were worried for K's life, and that is why they kept on leaning to that side of the map when CFU decided to try and blockade them through that river. But Bankai, if they just got him back one kill after the turtle fight, he might have go even against Wadu later down the line.
Yeah, it's been a consistent thing for Zone for the entirety of M7. Bankai's laning, Bankai's first or second turtle. Zone needs to help him out more. I think K and the gold lane is completely fine, but when it comes to the EXP lane, that's been the major pain point for Zone and what teams have now been looking at as the main weakness that they can focus on. And if Zone can't help their EXP laner, it's not going to be a good time for them.
Yeah, Bankai definitely struggled there, and it was very evident from the first turtle. And that's not how you want to see a Yu Zhong, because you would assume that a Yu Zhong in your team would almost guarantee you a first hurdle or two.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case for this game in for Team Zone. But I guess it's a template they try to follow in terms of the draft, because I think for majority of their previous games, it's always been Bright's hero prioritized for first two. But that was the Gato that we're talking about, and it's a bit different now.
It is a little bit different, but I guess it could come down to, is this really boiling down to experience? Because the only time I saw quote-unquote experience really start to come through was at the very end with all the built-up conditioning up until that point. The laning gaps were pretty obvious that it was going to happen. You could see the posturing happen from a mile away, and not to mention, it's not like Bright didn't know what was going on. He actually spotted out a majority of the members before they even got to the dive.
Right. They had the vision, they had what they needed, but they just could not make it work. And when they don't make it work in the early game, then why
With broken walls, you notice that Opie, as you see later down into the fight, actually moves in that direction. As you see him move into that direction, you notice that the fight gets completely split in half, with the backline having no access whatsoever because of this play, stretching Team Zone apart. And that's the beauty of Yuzong, but also one of his biggest weaknesses. He's allowed to overextend and sustain if he sticks onto his target. If he doesn't stick onto his target, then he's basically left out to dry. And this repeats itself throughout the game, allowing Boxy to be able to find these incredible kicks time and time again, knowing that he won't get punished, or at the very bare minimum, he's going to get a petrify. He is going to get a flicker. Great game overall, a good show of experience and conditioning from the side of CFU, but I think for Team Zone, their biggest adjustment right now has to be the laning phase and first turtle.
Yeah, I'm also wondering where the info was that the Claude was gone, because Team Zone fought that as if no one called it that the Claude was on the way.
Yeah.
And they should have known, because they saw him walk into the bush, so it's like, you know where they're coming from.
Yeah, and yeah, they had the Hylos there in the back, but it really feels like they just, I don't want to use the term disrespect, but for a moment they just forgot that the Claude was on the way, and it was the easiest Blazing Duet entry for Sing to just break it apart.
Yeah, and it's a Claude. So I think more than anything, you have to remind themselves that it's a Claude who already, in terms of priorities in the draft, is already very much up there, which is why it's first pick a ball. A lot of times we see it there. So they just left it open, and more than leaving it open, they left him all alone throughout the game. I feel like they have been a bit too reactive towards the XP lane too, and maybe that's exactly what CFE wanted to happen.
I think that CFU understood two things. Number one, if we're going to fight Zone, we have to fight them on our own terms, right? Let's deny Zixora as many pickoffs, solos pickoffs as possible. Let's really focus on making sure that Kenny and Kay don't really get to maximize their damage, right? I think Kenny is the only exception to that damage rule because he does have Feathered Airstrike, but Kay especially. Examine Force, what happens? Who gets involved? It's either Detective catches him or Boxy breaks his Purify, making him extremely nervous, because if he gets hit by any CC without his Purify, it's guaranteed death.
I wish we also saw Zone take a little bit more of an SRG versus Team Liquid route here, wherein instead of going up against Team Liquid in the major objective, they just decided, you know what, we're going to go for OM instead. Go for the gold lane instead. Your lineup that, yes, Zone has a case to say, we can fight and we should fight objectives because we have the Yuzong. That was good for the first turtle. But after the first turtle loss and the continuous losses of Bankai, you definitely should have swerved and just gone to the gold lane or just get wins elsewhere in the map, instead of like brute forcing your way to trying to make a comeback through the turtles alone.
Because even if you look at the heat map, Boxy rarely went to the gold lane. Didn't go to the gold lane at all, because it was Sing who was always going to the fights. He was the one joining the fights. So that's how you know that the gold laner of CFU was just a bit too free. And now, whatever we mentioned about him and his presence not being felt as much here in M7, we didn't get to feel that in this game.
Well, I think that, especially for Boxy, his biggest priority is, yes, I'm looking to make plays, but it's always around the river. He's always looking, he's always posturing himself in the best place possible, and that's something that a lot of support players need to understand. It's not necessarily, I have to make the play, you just have to be at the right place and consider whether it's the right time.
Yeah, that's another way to look at it. Maybe Zone could not get those guys into the gold lane because Boxy was just always in the river. He was always blocking off Bright, he was always blocking off Zexora, and at the end, Zone just had to try and hope they could find something through the center of the map or through the turtles. But with game number 1 done, it's time to thank some friends. Which one of you took my real me?
You'll never find it now. I've hidden the real me deep inside myself so that I can unleash the true power. Because again, today I'm feeling extra good. I feel like I've got clankers in my brain. I feel like I've got artificial intelligence behind my back.
Oh, is that the AI gaming coach that you're talking about?
You got that right, because that's the AI gaming coach for you. But it doesn't stop there. When the fight breaks out, its consecutive skill feature lets you unleash a perfect preset combo with just one tap. It guides your strategy and elevates your execution. That's a full AI-powered edge. From prediction to performance, it's the complete package. You play, we carry. Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone.
Remind us to disinfect that once we get it out of you.
Yeah.
Because we will need to get it back.
You're not getting it back.
You can do it yourself, by the way.
Yeah. No, we can get someone else to do it.
Oh, let's just get someone else.
It's
to do
okay.
that.
Try and take it away from me. Make an attempt.
No.
Yeah, sure,
I'll
we're
just talk
okay.
about the M7 bonuses
Sure,
or
yes,
something,
please.
because the M7 Pass went live last January 1, 2026, if you didn't know, packed with exclusive rewards like Granger's Thunder Ascendant Epic Skin, a Cosmic Finality Prime Skin, M7 figurine, battle effects, Prime Avatar Border, and more. Plus, my favorite, get Gato Catch a Solar Spark for free. That's the fan favorite M5 Yuzhong skins and revamped M Championship skins, which are also making a limited time return, by the way. So don't miss out on all the wonderful rewards and start grinding with the M7 Pass now.
Activities. We also have that in Mobile Legends Bang Bang, including MLBB Rising Open or MRO with Season 5 making a comeback. Still open to everyone. Very flexible to join. Just with major upgrades as well. You can earn hero power from victories based on your weekly champion rank and team up with friends to form a 5-player team to compete. So rewards are stacked, you win or lose, you earn MRO coins to redeem permanent skins, exclusive avatar borders, and more. So climb the weekly championships to qualify for the championship, win bigger prizes, and keep the M7 passion alive. You can compete with your friends too. Tell everyone that your friends are better than other friends.
Exactly. And
That's what life is all about.
Yeah, true. And it's also because you can technically, if you try and queue at the same time, if you just line it up correctly, you might meet them later down in the bracket. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's a lot of championships, I just gotta say.
I know you have like frequent 5-man teams going, whether it's with your friends.
Which are you gonna ask me which are my better friends?
Yeah. Who do you prefer to play with? The people in your age group or the members of Team Liquid?
Oh,
I don't know. That's kind of a...
Yeah.
Isn't Liquid like kinda the overlap there? They're technically around that age.
I don't want to accidentally age reveal
I have an answer.
Mitch and Tic Tac right now.
Oh.
I don't want to do that to them.
It's okay. We just say that I'd rather play with Liquid's ancient treasures.
They're called the Ancient Treasures, Mitch and Tic Tac.
Oh, he took off his headset. What? Hello?
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Ancient Treasures.
No, because
Lord.
they have loads of experience,
Yes.
Experience in the game and in life.
Yeah, man. TikTok is like Noah's Ark. He's just gonna carry everybody on that boat when the world's literally drowning around him. Gosh. That's the first time I've ever heard of it. I'm sorry. Woo! All right.
It's okay.
Shall we drop a little bit more tidbits of information? We'll for Tic Tac's two main heroes, Coach Tic Tac's two main heroes.
That would be the Chang'e and the Cyclops SpongeBob skin.
Why?
Specifically the SpongeBob
Specifically
skin.
the SpongeBob skin.
I hope somewhere Tic Tac isn't seething. It's like, they revealed my main heroes.
How could you, especially when the map reveal is dangerous grass?
So, wait, we're going into dangerous grass. So now we have to watch out for heroes such as Hilda, potentially Khalid, with a lot of entry points that he could just... With how fast he gets around the map, him plus dangerous grass, it's just not a good equation. You don't want to go up against that. So far, CFU have kept it to very similar bans. No side switches. Brock, Juicin, Kalea still okay, but I feel like, yeah, if I'm Team Zone, pick up the Cho if it's available.
No, they have to go for Claw.
No, I mean like if Zone red side.
Oh, if
they
Zone
pick
red
up
side.
Joe instead of the high loss.
Oh, got you. That makes a lot more sense here. And it also kind of puts Claude in an awkward spot where it's like, man, I have to take the, oh goodness, Purify.
Because I was like thinking, yeah, there's a Cho, there's a Hilda, there's everything.
Is
But knowing that there's a potential Fredrin, I get it, but it didn't even help as much in game number 1.
I think this is one of those angles where you might have... Well, like, how else could they have changed this draft, right? Are they just not very confident that Bankai can get away with the Yuzong? And they change it into carry as well? I guess they know that at least it could deny and maybe turn CFU into an assassin v assassin matchup. Like, what is the gamble here? I don't see the payoff just yet.
I don't either.
Look,
I'm quite unhappy about these decisions by Zone because I do want to see a game number 3 here. Maybe they could have gone Cho. They didn't need to rush with the carry. The only payoff I'm looking for now is we get double horses. We get high loss. We get Leomord. Just pick up Leomord in red 3, then we can call it a day. I'm fine. I'm happy. That's the payoff you're looking for. You adjust Bankai's pick. You adjust Kenny's pick in the mid. Just pick up the Leomord.
But then, see, if they still have access to the Cho, or if they wanted to even take away the Yuzhong or stick with the Lapu-Lapu, then that's gonna make things a lot more difficult for it.
So easy. It's so sensible. It's really, really sensible to go for Yuzong here, but it also opens up an actual pretty honest approach for K, right? Because now Winds of Nature has a lot of value because you're not only worried about the clock, you're also worried about melting away from this Yuzong. Lapu Lapu from the side of Kenny. Well, let's see what that magic fourth pick is gonna be.
Mr. Bankai, you gotta show up here. Earlier, you lost the matchup with a Yuzong up against a Lapu. Now you have to win this matchup while you're using Lapu against the Yuzong, because if that doesn't happen, then that means Wadu has Bankai's name tattooed on him.
I'm just probably gonna wish it's not another Farsa for Ken.
I don't think he's gonna get his hands on it, to be perfectly fair. I feel like they want CF to pick it up. And there we go, the Leo Moore ban. Very respectable, very respectable. Good feed coming in from CFU and Coach.
That's I like that.
They had to carry though, but yeah.
What? Yeah. But why?
If ever they could have picked up like a game if they wanted it to.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
I was thinking that like they either pick up Fredrin here for third, and then maybe consider an Arlet for fourth.
Maybe just required so much respect. Man on the Fredrin.
I don't know.
Even though Zone could have gotten all of the heroes to mess up that Fredrin, they saw Detective and said no. Drafts alone cannot beat Detective. We have to just take it away from him.
Yeah, Detective was so influential.
Yeah, this is pure cope right now.
Okay, I think that I'm trying to get into the head of Z1, right? What was the biggest problem in the game in terms of just, trying to be empathetic? Number one, yes, the EXP lane didn't do too well, but considering that they were